Come see what's happening at Maui's newest dealership, Jim Falk Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 195 Pu'unini Avenue in Kahului.
Aloha folks, it's Kiaora Bohlool with Maui Now. I am here at Maui Ocean Center in what's known as the Wet Lab. This is sort of the home base for creating food for a lot of the animals here and caring for the coral. We are getting a behind the scenes look at why the work they do here is so important to our islands.
So this is the mad scientist part of the job. These are brine shrimp, or also known as artemia, or sometimes also known as sea monkeys. But this is an excellent food source for a lot of our animals, whether it's juvenile fish or corals and even jellyfish. We love to use these fungia or mushroom corals because they are the single largest polyp. So they're really great for to be able to use for educational purposes to teach people about corals. And with this new digital microscope we've got, getting this up close and personal look at the biology of the animal. You can see the tentacles all around, and you can see the mouth in the center. And if I add a little bit of this brine shrimp that we've got, you might actually be able to see some of the tentacles of the mushroom coral capturing their prey, paralyzing them with their nematocysts or stinging cells at the tips of their tentacles, and then they'll be able to bring them to their mouth. The time lapse of this is really pretty fascinating. This one that we're looking at here, it may actually be a new species yet to be described by science. Our staff here has been basically hands-on with Hawaiian coral for the last 18 years, really, that Maui Ocean Center has been open. So here we have one of our setups for raising some of the coral back in 2012 when they had the earthquake in Japan. It produced a Pacific-wide tsunami, and it did a lot of damage to our state harbors. And so we were actually selected to basically salvage the coral growing off of damaged pier pilings that otherwise would have been destroyed and rebuilt. But they let us come get the coral off of it first. And so all said and done, we actually transplanted corals, more than 700 colonies. We were able to salvage from 2 sites on the Big Island, 2 here on Maui, one on Molokai and one on Lanai.
Here in Hawaii especially, all of our reefs are fringing reefs, which are developed by stony corals. And people might understand that a coral is something that seems kind of solid. They maybe hit it when they're snorkeling or swimming and they go, ouch, I got a rash from that. But what they don't realize is that there's these delicate little tiny animals, polyps, inside of each one of those little holes in a coral skeleton.
You can see how we have water coming in, water going out. It's being oxygenated. We have a light here that actually runs back and forth to achieve different angles. The beautiful colors that corals have is really a direct result of them being part plant, being able to produce their zooxanthellae or their symbiotic algae that they use many times. Up to 80 to 90% of that production is what they use for food. All these little white dots on the wall, those are actually polyps, and that is actually the very first stage of life of a jellyfish. We believe that this type of jelly is probably most closely related to coral polyps because they also, as they are upside down, they're orienting themselves to the sun.
The Maui Ocean Center Marine Institute is founded on 3 pillars: to provide educational opportunities and outreach in the community in marine sciences and conservation, to rescue, rehabilitate, and release Hawaiian sea turtles, and to preserve and propagate the rare and endemic Hawaiian corals.
There's a lot of corals here that are quite fragile, like perhaps this paper coral. Many times when a lot of corals spawn, their spawn will rise to the surface and be wind driven. A lot of the corals that we have here along South Maui are actually the parents of the coral reefs that are downwind from these other islands. So it's extremely important that we take care of what we have here to be able to have corals on these neighboring islands for future generations.
Now, you would not normally get to see this area if you visit the Ocean Center, but there is a way to get your own behind-the-scenes tour, and you can learn how in my article on MauiNow.com. I'm Kiaora Bohlool for Maui Now. Mahalo for watching.